Kmart began in 1962 and Little Caesars in 1959. Both companies, headquartered in Michigan, had their first ever stores open in Garden City, Michigan. In 1990, with both companies thriving and Kmart itself having sales of $32 billion, the first Little Caesars pizza station opened inside of a Kmart, inside the Rochester Hills, Michigan store as a test. After one successful year, in 1991, Little Caesars founder Michael Ilitch and Kmart chairman Joseph Antonini made the announcement at the same store that the two companies have come to an agreement to open up Little Caesars within Kmart stores. Their plan was to open 400 sit-down pizza restaurants within the first year and 1,200 within the next 5 years. During this time in the early 1990s, Kmart Corporation had nearly 2,500 locations. The two companies were a great team since both focused on prices and conveniences with their products. In a sense, the Kmart locations would act like Little Caesars franchisees, whereas the distributor, Blue Line Distributing, would supply the recipes and supplies, while they both shared the profits. During the 1980s and into the 1990s, nearly every Kmart location had a KCafe. On September 24, 1997, Little Caesars and Kmart reached yet another agreement. This time the plan was again to bring in Little Caesars to their stores, primarily big Kmarts and super Kmarts, instead of having their KCafe concepts. Kmart was needing to cut costs and knew that certain K-cafes could start carrying Little Caesars pizza products, while other stores would open up Little Caesars Express restaurants. In 1997, there were 1,850 K-cafe restaurants company-wide within Kmarts, and the sales for these restaurants were more than $350 million a year. Little Caesars had already been providing pizza in just over 500 locations, but the remodeling was planned to be completed by 1999. The two companies' initial plans during the early 1990s didn't plan out as expected, but both were hopeful in this new agreement as Kmart continued opening new stores. In 1997, Kmart was the third largest retailer in the United States behind Walmart and Sears. With Kmart closures drastically beginning in the 2000s, in 2002, when Kmart filed for bankruptcy protection in January, they reported a $5 million debt to Little Caesars and Blue Line Distributing. As more Kmarts closed, more Little Caesars suffered. In 2003, Little Caesars wanted to continue their once successful partnership with Kmart, but with stores failing to continue to bring in customers, the pizza chain faced the reality that Kmart was struggling. Lisa Kosnowski, a spokesperson for Little Caesars, said in 2000 that, quote, "I will say that we still have great business partnership with them, and will continue to stand by them during this time and in the future." End quote. Today, as the number of Kmart locations dwindle, a few Little Caesars pizza stations have hung on inside Kmart locations and continue to do so until the end.